Wow. Well, that took me 20 minutes to figure out, but I figured it out. Yay. And it looks like we got a good stream going on here. I'm sorry if you showed up at 4 and this wasn't working because I have no idea what I'm doing with this new software. For those of you that don't know, I decided I was going to go with an open source streaming software to save money. And that's what we're doing here today. We're trying to check this. Hopefully, let me see if it's showing up on YouTube, so forgive me a second. Again, this is a live stream test, so uh, let's see what's going on. Okay, so we are streaming, and it looks pretty good. Right on. Anyway, let me say hi to y'all. I'm in the chat if you want to come say hi or ask questions. Let me let you all know that I am here. And I'm just here checking some things. And, oh, I can do that? How do I do that? Very cool. I didn't know I could do that from here. So I'm wondering if it's easier for me to switch from this to that. I think I'd rather switch from this to that. I like that. Anyway, I've been missing for a while, and I have totally missed all of you very, very, very much. I'm just moving some windows around here so I can get a better view of what's going on with this new software. Way too many windows, way too many controls, but I needed to do it. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. I did promise I would answer some questions, and if you are out there and watching, let me know how this sounds to you. Is it too loud? Is it too gritty or whatnot? The picture looks like it's coming across okay, and the audio looks like it's coming across okay. But please let me know if you're watching and you'd like to make a comment of what's going on here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play around with some scenes. And then I'm going to answer some of your questions. So I've set this up, and I just want to see if our Sabbats, which is, I might do a summer solstice Sabbat. I think I have it scheduled. Oh, no, I don't. I got to schedule that. Probably next Tuesday. Be a few days after the solstice, but we deserve to have our own Imbolc ceremony here online. I'm not going to be doing one at home because I'll be working at the Diversity Center, but let's see how this goes. Tell me what you think. Does it sound okay?
Welcome, seekers of light and wisdom, to a sacred gathering where magic and spirituality intertwine. Tonight, we honor the turning of the wheel, the eternal dance of the earth and the cosmos.
Yeah, okay. What is this and why is it telling me this? Suggestion. It wants me to pop out your stream dashboard. What do you mean pop out my stream dashboard? Blah, blah. Okay, no, I know that. Oh, I know what you're seeing. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't need that. At least not right now. Anyway, so like I said, I wanted to say hello to you all. It's been forever. It's been since my son passed back in April. So I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the questions that you all have been commenting, and those of you who have been texting, messaging, all of that kind of stuff. This is a casual show, so there's really no outline. However, I did need to, test this to see if we can work moving forward. I want to know if it is showing up on my YouTube channel. And is it? I'm just curious how it goes. Is it? Hello? I'm just curious how it goes. Is it? Okay. Hello? There's a little bit of a lag, which is normal for something like this, and that's quite all right. I'm going to go ahead and it sounds like the volume needs to be turned up a little bit. Where's the... Oh, shoot, the mic is up all the way on their end. So I guess I should turn it up a little bit on my end. No, 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 it's okay. Get that out of there. Get that out of there. And, wow, we really do have a great stream. I'm pretty excited. This is working pretty nice right now. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Okay. Yeah, let's open that. System, no. Microphone, yes. Well, that's not helping. I just want to be able to turn the microphone up a little bit. Something sounds a little bit low to me. I don't know if you agree with me. Output sound. No, where's the mic? Where's the mic? Microphone. This device is currently in use. Well, I know it's in use. I don't want input volume. I want output volume. Well, I guess this is just a test, so I will go ahead and listen to it later and see what it is. But anyway, for those of you that are here, I appreciate you being here. Like I said, the chat is open, and it looks like everything's pretty good. I'm not seeing anyone on the chat room. I don't even think I see anybody on the stream. I wonder if it's working. I know I was late. I'm sorry. But not what I wanted to do. What is that? Get out of there. What does that mean? It's telling me that my stream health is wonderful, but I have a higher bit rate than is suggested. But you know what? If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stream status excellent. So why do you want me to change that? All right. Well, it looks like we're doing pretty good. Is there something like that? Okay, no, I don't want that. That's silly. Okay, yeah, no, that's good. This all looks really good. Boy, I miss y'all. Yeah, stop telling me the bit rate is too high because you keep telling me that the stream is perfect or excellent. I wish you would show me about the audio. Stream key, blah, blah, blah. Heather, hi, how are you? Oh my God, it's so good to see you, or hear you again, or see your words again. Yes, today I'm just testing. I'm looking at all the settings and making sure everything is good moving forward. I feel pretty good today, I will say. I had a rough couple days, but all right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into some of your questions that you all have sent me. The stream looks and sounds pretty good. You let me know if it sounds strange, or it looks like the picture is excellent. My concern is with the audio, so if it's too loud or sounding off, let me know, and I'll try to adjust that, but thank you. All right, so I've been gone since April, as you all know. Unfortunately, and very, very sadly, on April 6th, my 50-year-old son passed very unexpectedly. And I really, this is probably the first day that, well, I won't say the first day, but work-wise, that I'm ready to be on camera and to be able to speak to people and looking to rebuilding whatever it is I'm doing. I will say there is one more episode left of the Shadow podcast that has been written. I just need to be able to create the video for it. I hope you've been enjoying the Shadow podcast. We might be doing away with the light classes, but I'll still do classes anyway. I don't know what the rest looks like right now. All I know is I have one episode of Shadow left for July, and there's just been so many changes going on, and I can't help but feel that universe is calling me to start building something different, something new. But I know a lot of you have been praying for me and have been worried about me and all of that, and have sent me these questions. So I'm going to go ahead and answer some of them. And I love the first one. How have you been really? Awful. I mean, what can you say? I've never thought that I would lose my son. I never thought I'd be one of those people who lost their child, but I am. And I'm gonna have to learn to live with that for the rest of my life. The grief, the first, well, that might be another question. Um, oh yeah, no, okay, no, but I will say that I like to think of myself as very spiritual, very centered, very grounded, and I was just totally blown, thrown, blown, confused. They put me on some medication that was just really, really kept me in a daze, in a fog, and I just couldn't. After 2 months, I just begged my doctor. I'm like, you gotta cut this dose by a quarter. Put me back on my regular routine. Yeah, I have PTSD, and I do take Xanax occasionally, but a quarter of a milligram. I know a lot of people say I overshare. As a matter of fact, I had someone from Daniel's family tell me, "You're oversharing." I'm a social media person. Of course, I overshare. That's what I'm here to do, is share my journey with you. And if that helps anybody, I'm glad. But the reality of it is that being in a daze for 2 months made it really difficult to get anything done and to really feel my feelings. So that was really, really hard. Thankfully, around early last week, I started feeling a little bit like myself again. But there's nothing more devastating, and I can't. Actually, let's put it this way: there's nothing more devastating to be left alone with your thoughts when you're having grief. I've been working, learning as much as I can about the physiology of grief, which, for those of you that are going through it, I highly recommend doing some research. There are some wonderful, wonderful um, TEDx talks, TED Talks, whatever, about this. I watched one, Frances O'Connor, I think that's her name, who is a neuroscientist who studies the brain during grief, and it was pretty interesting, because I like to think, as we all do. I don't want to say that I'm in control, but that I'm so spiritual. I meditate all the time. I try to stay grounded. I do my daily, spiritual practices, commune with the earth, with the universe. There is nothing, all of that goes out the window. Your brain changes, and I never realized how much your brain changes. And the thing that really upset me about that is that apparently the brain starts pumping, not oxytocin. I wish it was oxytocin. That other stuff, the other stress hormone or whatever, which is not good for you, cortisol. And so your brain starts telling your kidneys to promote cortisol, because you're under attack, or you're unsafe or whatnot, and I guess maybe that's a fight or flight thing. And also, it deals with the base of your brain, the back, right where it connects with the spine, and that is what my therapist calls the trauma brain. And that's where we're thinking when we first get into grief. And we have no control over that. We have no control over that. I tried to meditate. I tried to eat good. I tried to be out in nature. Try to do everything that I used to do, and there's nothing to do other than grow or move forward with it. So that was probably the biggest surprise to me, and one of the hardest things I had to deal with. Actually, that goes with the next question. What has grief taught you that you didn't expect? That. The other thing, which kind of pisses me off a little bit, and I'll I'll come right out and say it, is that grief taught me that people have no idea how to talk to people in grief. I mean, I've heard everything from get over it, you're not acting like yourself, you're drinking too much, you're sleeping too much, you're not drinking enough, you're not sleeping enough, you're eating too much, you're not eating enough. I mean, everyone had an opinion, and I know it comes from a good place, and I know it comes from them wanting their friend or their family member to be back to who they knew and loved. But one of the greatest things that I did learn is that my life has changed forever. I'm never going to be that person again. I will never be the person I was on April 5th, because on April 6th everything changed. I did get some. I gave. I won't say gave. I c- the behavior of the people around me. That I've had about two or three people that have really, risen to the top and have been there to help me and uh, watch me grow and wanted to take care of me. But those were people that have gone through, losing a sibling, losing a father, losing a child. They get it. They get it. But what I figured out was that everyone wants you to get over it. And there is no getting over it. There isn't getting over it. There's a great TED talk. Again, I forgot the name, but it's about grief getting on, not getting over, or something like that. And it made me realize that there's no getting over it. They're just growing with it and going with it and flowing with it. And we're going to feel what we're going to feel. We're going to piss off a lot of people. I've noticed that I've had the ability to piss off a lot of people because I'm not acting the way that they expect me to act. I, unfortunately, and this is new as of today, and it's no fault of theirs, but my housemate has given me their 30-day notice. They have their own mental health issues, and my grief and their she has CPTSD. It's just not a good environment for her to be around me during this period of my life, and it's weighing on her, and it's making her feel guilty for not being able to help me. Anyway, I love living with this person, and I'm very sorry. We're best friends, and I think, and we both agreed mutually that in order to continue our friendship, might be a good idea for them to leave. Actually, they came to me, and I happen to agree with them. So unfortunately, I have to find another housemate come August or something like that. But I've learned that people don't know how to handle grief, including me. It's funny, like when prior to this, I would say to people, oh, I feel for you, my heart is with you, blah blah blah, and all. Now I'm like, nothing I say is going to help. Just know that I love you. And so those watching, maybe start saying that instead of saying get over it. Um, what has helped you keep going when things felt unbearable? Well, like I said, I go to trauma therapy, and I just started a new group, and I'm going to give them a shout out. I don't know if YouTube wants me to or not, but I'm going to. They're called My Grief Angels. It's an online grief support group, and they're customized to whatever type of grief you're suffering. Everything from pet loss to parents to partners to LGBT partners. I mean, they've got everything, everything. I'm in the group with siblings and children. And one of the things that I found very interesting about that group, though, my I told my Al-Anon sponsor I need to take a break because I'm in no place to work steps right now. I'm like, you need to give me like 6 months to get my head back together. But it was interesting because when I went to this support group online of people that lost their children, 90% of them lost them to an overdose. And I could tell some of them had already been going to Al-Anon because they're using slogans like, I didn't cause it, I can't cure it, I can't control it, that kind of stuff. And that was pretty confirming or synchronistic that I needed to be there. I am going to continue with my Al-Anon recovery. You know, something I know that I have to do. Growing up in an alcoholic home and coming, my first roommate when we moved into this house was an alcoholic and addict that I didn't know about. But so I love my Al-Anon and I love my therapist. And now I got to add a new rapport with these people. Um, Spiritually, have you been practicing? Has something changed? Or has it deepened since your loss? Yes. um, my spiritual practice went out the window for the first couple of weeks. It wasn't until last week that I was actually able to meditate again. It was awful, awful. I found that just trying to concentrate or trying to close my mind just I was incapable of slowing my thoughts down. It wasn't until last week, and I think I've done this exercise with all of you, that an old exercise that I used to use in my rapport, my spiritual practice rapport, was when you start spinning, you know, and you're just stuck in your head. You know, I was laying in bed and I was just like, where's your feet? Where's your feet? Where are your hands? Where are your hands? You know, and just trying to get back into my body because when you're in grief, you're in your head. And, you know, just to be able to get back in your body, to get those thoughts from spinning and spinning and going and going and going. And that does apply to the spiritual practices of my past and everything that I've ever shared with all of you. But it was very different because it was grieving over the loss of my son. So that was a very, very illuminating experience. Yeah, there God, I'm gonna keep forgetting it. What's the name of that hormone that like makes everybody crazy? Anyway, um, I have no control over that. But anyway, so another question someone sent me was, how does healing look like for you right now? Well, right now I'm happy to say that I don't want to say that the acute part is over. I'll say I'm transitioning to the next phase, whatever that might be. I'm no longer taking that heavy duty sedative medication that they were giving me. My head fog is clearing up, even though I've had that even before. But and as well, I am going to be receiving a Reiki treatment from another fellow Reiki master, so that's very helpful. Everyone within the metaphysical community has been reaching out to do healing or readings, or I have a medium that wants to work with me to, not that I really need to because I feel them, but she thought it might be good for me to have a conversation with my son on the other side, and I agree with her. I'm not ready for that yet, though, but when I'm ready, I will do that. I think it will be a part of my healing. I've set up, if you've watched my grief shorts series that I'm doing, I think it's just a Grief is Sacred or something like that. I've been following my own advice, so that's been very helpful. Setting up a little ancestor altar. There's pictures of my son everywhere. But I'm actually going to have, everyone, when we have like parents or friends or whatever that pass away, we'll hang up a picture of them or put them on a mantle or something like that. Well, mine are scattered all over the house, and I'm like, you know what? Instead of having an altar to my spiritual beliefs, for like, quote unquote, I'm going to turn that into an ancestor altar. I'm going to put both my fathers, my birth and the man who raised me, my mother who raised me, my friend, on top of this, my best friend had passed away back in Thanksgiving. I don't know if y'all remember that. So the person who I would turn to during my grief wasn't there because I was already grieving her. With that being said, though, and I will probably do a video on it. I will probably do a video on the fact that it's been a year of like extreme joy and extreme misery, and I don't think I've ever had a year like this in my entire life. My birth family finds me, I meet them, I love them, they're awesome. I bring my son to meet them. We go to the powwow. We have a great time with them. We all spent time together. And, my best friend died in Thanksgiving, and then my son dies the beginning of April. And so, two major, what I would call the best days of my life, meeting my brother and my sister. The two best days of my life, the other one would be taking my son to meet his uncle and his cousins and take him to the reservation and meet them. And then the two worst days would be my best friend dying and my son dying. And this is all since September. And no, they haven't put me in a straitjacket yet. How do you hold space for yourself when you're the one in pain? I don't know. How do you hold space for yourself when you're the one in pain? I think it's fair to say that I don't. Actually, no, I do know how to answer that. For the first 2 months, it's only been 2 months, I can't believe it. I would not give myself any responsibilities. People would be like, would you like to come here? Would you like there? Would you like me to come over at this time? Or I left myself completely open. I didn't want to make any commitments. I didn't want to let people down if I wasn't up to seeing them. And I didn't want to force myself to do something that perhaps I wasn't up to doing at that moment. So that was one way of self-care. It was like, listen, I just can't promise I'm going to do that. And I know that I'm starting to feel better now, but I will say that for example, I got an invitation to an event this weekend that I really want to be a part of. But I said, instead of saying, yes, I will be there, it was like, I would love to be there. If I can make it, I will be. And just leave it at that. I know that sounds vague, but it's not like we're planning a wedding or a banquet or something. It's like a neighborhood potluck dinner. But I'm just like, I would love to be able to. I would love to be able to come. I'll let if I can make it, and I won't know until maybe an hour or two before if I'm up for it. So holding space means respecting my energetic ability, or as some of us call it, our bandwidth, and respecting our bandwidth, letting us do what we can versus forcing ourselves to do what we cannot. Oh boy, have any new messages or vision come through to you lately? He has been in my dreams over and over and over and over again. And the nightmare is waking up. That's the nightmare. I had a wonderful dream about 4 or 5 nights ago that we were down at the Seminole Reservation, and I was with my Seminole family, and he was there, and his mother was there, and it was kind of a play on our visit to the powwow. But of course, in Dreamland, everything looks a little different. Everyone looked the same, but the places looked a little bit different. And they had taken a cruise to come see me. I'm like, oh, it must be nice to be able to afford that. But no, I was kidding. But when they were leaving, it was like I knew in the dream that, and even his mother in the dream, it's like, no, I know he's gone. This is just a visit, which I found really cool because he came to visit both of us at once. And she was like, yeah, I know when we get back home, he's not going to be there. And I woke up shortly after that. That was a really, really strange experience, I will say. And, I'm just going to keep going. I know I'm running late, and I ran late, and so I'm just going to keep on going. Please, if the sound is off or anything, just let me know. Again, this is a test for the software. I hope it's doing its job. For the community, I want to answer what do you want us to know about how to support someone who's grieving? Well, I think I said that earlier. Never tell them to get over it. Let them do. Yeah, I know. Thank you. It's the green screen. Oh wait, green screen runs out about here. Thank you. I'll move it over next time. I appreciate it. Or move the camera over next time. But I would say that don't tell people to get over it. Don't tell people to move on. Don't expect them to be who they were because they're not. And if anything, it's just listen. Don't tell them what to do. Listen to what they need. I think the best answer I could ever tell anyone is to just be there. I know that sounds vague and that sounds silly, but I'm telling you right now, the best thing that I had was my community, my local community, sat with me, and we didn't have to talk. We could watch movies, we could drink wine, we could have a potluck, whatever it was, or just sit there one on one in silence, but be there. Sitting sitting with me was the best thing anyone could ever do. I think that no, I don't think. I know that just having someone sitting there with you is the best thing. And I've done it with some of my friends, friends who have lost spouses or things like that. But when someone's grieving, just sit with them. That's all they need. And of course, bringing casserole. I miss the casseroles and food. Actually, I have someone bringing food over tonight, so I'm really excited about that. It still keeps showing up here and there, and and oh, thank you. Well, thank you me, or thank you my cousin who brought it up the other day. Uh, I should say Daniel's aunt. She said that um, when after the first couple weeks, after the funeral is over and the casseroles stop coming, to reach out to them and let them know, do you need help cleaning your house? I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people. I think I finally cleaned the bathroom last week. I know that sounds disgusting, but it's true. It was too hard to have the energy and the focus to do it. I do it every week. I did have a couple friends, every couple of weeks come in, but I'll just say that people need help cleaning their home. People still, a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out, are going to need help with meals. People are going to need help financially. I am about to, for example, I'm about to run out of money, and my roommate's running, moving out, and I'm applying everywhere. But I had this. I will say this that I'm a little frustrated about is that I had a surprise interview, and I was not prepared. I was not prepared. I don't know if you all know this. Beside the work that I do here, beside the work I do as a reader and healer and intuitive and all the other stuff, those are like my two sources of income or whatever. But my main source of income is doing IT projects. And I've had the hardest time finding that. I usually work with AI developing or social media management, things like that. And I'm struggling there. I'm struggling there. And the point is that people who are grieving may have financial issues, so you may want to check in on them, make sure it's all right. I don't know, throw them $20 or give them a gift card to the local grocery store or uh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I need. That's the other thing is that you can't make a decision. Could not make a decision. What do you need, Bernard? I don't know. I don't. I don't know. But anyway, so just even though the month is passed after your friend lost their husband or their lover or their girlfriend or their boyfriend or their child, even if it's a month or 2 or 3 or 6 months later, check in. How you doing? Do you need me to help you with blah blah blah? Fill in the blank. That's something I learned that was new. I didn't realize that there is more help needed after the initial shock passes. Oh, well, that's funny. This is well, thank you for this. I wonder who that was. How can we show up better for queer youth, especially those who feel unseen or unsafe? And I'm so grateful somebody wrote that because, I won't go into too much information, but I will say that I think, what is it, 40%? 40% of all homeless youth are queer, and some exorbitant amount, something like 70 or 60% of suicides are queer youth. So I would say research that, see what you can do to help. Maybe the Trevor Project, Covenant House, things like that. But that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And of course, beyond the queer youth, we've got veterans. So it's always the veterans or the queer youth, and they're traumatized. They're traumatized, especially the kids that are being kicked out of their house. What's something you wish more people understood about being a spiritual leader in mourning? I'm sorry to laugh, but what a weird question, and I never would have thought of that. How how can we show a better? Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. What's something you wish more people? No, wrong one. Oh, about being a spiritual leader in mourning. Understood about being a spiritual leader in mourning. Oh, I guess what you're saying. I get it. So what they're asking is what could people understand better about someone like me, who's in mourning, and you're all kind of doing it, showing up. Um, you helped me raise money that I could fly to go see him, and you've given me the opportunity to be able to have a month or two to mourn without worrying financially. Now I have a new financial worry, but uh, I think the most important thing about this is that spiritual leaders are human, and we have physiology like every other human, and I would say to understand the science behind grieving and mourning when it comes to a spiritual leader or anybody else. Your body goes through changes. Your body goes through changes. And cortisol, gosh, that one I couldn't think of. That's why, the cortisol output always makes you feel like you're in a constant state of fight or flight. Constant. When I say raw, physiologically, I'm saying I'm on cortisol overload. And believe it or not, that's why a lot of spouses die shortly after, because cortisol is basically very toxic, and it's a toxin. And a lot of people get sick, and that's, broken heart syndrome comes from cortisol, a lot of that stuff. Uh, I wish there was a way I could control it, but apparently that lasts for about a year. I'm not happy about that part, but it does. Um, they say the cortisol levels begin to lessen about a year later, but the hardest parts are always going to stay with you. So just have empathy and compassion. And I would say that have empathy and compassion for anybody, no matter what they're going through. Future connections. What are you planning to return to content are you planning to return to content or teaching soon? Yeah, of course I am. Um, I don't know what that's going to look like. I really don't know what that's going to look like. Like I said, the last episode of Shadow will be coming out in a few weeks. Boy, I better hurry up and finish editing it. Um, the shorts, the YouTube short series I'm doing on Grief is Sacred, I think that only has like one or two more minute videos. And as far as what I'm going to do with my channel, I really, really, really don't know. You know me. I usually like to share my path, my spiritual path, my emotional path, whatever's going on with me is usually what I end up sharing with you. So don't be surprised if I'm talking about grief a little bit more. Or don't be surprised if I'm talking about spiritual practices to heal grief. Or, a great one. And actually, thank God, I do have a local Native American healer that lives nearby, and she's going to be doing some work on me. So I may talk about, indigenous and or, shamanic practices to help us heal. So who knows? Who knows? I really don't know. All I know is right now I got planned one more Shadow podcast and two more shorts videos, and we'll take it from there. I've been very interested my whole life in music, and now that I know who my father is, birth father, I'm like, maybe I'll start making spiritual music. I don't know. But those of you that know me know that I was, in bands like through my teens and 20s, and everyone's like, are you a rock star? No, I'm not a musician. I used to be a vocalist, but I'm good at writing lyrics at least, and I'm wondering if I can do something like that. I'm very interested in doing that. But I will definitely be around. I will still be sharing spiritual and mindfulness videos, of course, your pagan practice videos, all of that kind of stuff. Um, what kind of support or offerings are you envisioning when you come back? Okay, well, I just answered that. What's the one thing I look forward to, even if it's small? It was today, and it's not small. I think it's a big deal that I finally got to wrap my head around paying attention to setting up all the settings for this new software, reconnecting with you, my community. And, well, now I have the summer solstice ceremony that I look forward to sharing with you next week. Excuse me. Anyway, wow. Again, I apologize. I was 20 minutes late because I couldn't figure out how to get the broadcast stream going. I am sure I'm going to be having some hiccups moving forward over, I figure 3 or 4 more broadcasts. I'll be able to smooth out all the rough edges. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this. I think the software was a good choice, or a good, good pivot. That other software was charging me way too much money for one live stream a month. I was like, no, we're going to use this. I'm using OBS if anybody's interested. Anyway, and that's it. I love you guys. Thank you. I will, right now, when I finish here, I will be setting up the stream for next Tuesday for the summer solstice ceremony. I love you. Thank you. I love you, Heather, if you're there. I'll talk to you soon, everybody. I love you.
Thank you so much for watching, my friends. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And if you'd like to unlock some amazing exclusive perks like special classes, meditations, courses, and more, consider becoming a supporting member of my channel. Just click subscribe on Facebook or join on YouTube. I love you, friends, and I'll see you next time.